Welcome to the Sharkpreneur Podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Green. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Green is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Green. Today, I have the good fortune to be with Robin Payne. She has over 40 years of work experience in the mental health field, has given numerous lectures, taught college-level behavior modification, is an adjunct professor. She's a member of the American Counseling Association. She's an author. She's got a background in Pilates, Reiki, hypnotherapy, recreation therapy, a master's in psychology, and her own concept that she copyrighted and trademarked as Bempathy that we're going to hear all about today. Jill, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Seth. And I'm going to tell everybody out there, I started when I was 1.
You started when you were 1. You're 41. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome. Well, 1 is amazing. I was going to say, let's go back in time and tell me how you got started, but I'm going to say we should probably fast forward a little bit from the age of 1.
Oh, that sounds good. So how I got started is my dad was a doctor. My mom was a person that helped the community. And so I had great role models and I learned how to be with people. They were even in politics and things like that. So I knew that communication was really important. And if you can't communicate, you can't have a relationship. So that's been my whole life. And I do have a brother that has schizophrenia. So I'm very adamant about helping people with mental health issues. And what's going on today, Seth, is that people are focusing on mental health. It's like focusing on the zit instead of focusing on what's really the cause of it. And what's the cause of it is that we're not communicating the way humans need to communicate. And we need to do it just like the cavemen. We need to touch and feel and be face to face. And so we need a little bit more of that and less screen time. So that's how I came to be. And then, I volunteered and I've been in the medical field. My brothers are doctors. And so it just developed. And I do Bempathy we're doing Bempathy right now. Just by when you introduced me, I made a little joke of it and we both laughed and that brought us together and connected us.
Awesome. So you talk about needing less screen time. Totally agree with that. Guilty of living on our screens, all day.
Yes.
So how does that contribute to our stress, our anxiety, our mental health stuff?
Well, they're doing studies and it's affecting children more, as you know, because your brain continues to develop till you're 25 to 30. And especially this part, which is where we do our critical thinking. We have impulse control. We have, even though feelings are here, still it affects our emotions, our intellectual emotions, how we can regulate our emotions. And so what they're finding is that this is shrinking. The more screen time you're using, and 4 hours is too much, they include school time. If you're doing, notice my face got real serious. I'm real adamant about this. I deal with a lot of 16-year-olds and up, and they're having a lot of problems because what happened in COVID? COVID was 24/7 screen time. So you're finding a lot of the children, and they don't talk about this on the internet or anyway, a flat affect. So I am very animated. I am the opposite of a blunted affect. It's more of a blunted, not flat. And that is how we express our body, our facial expression. So I can smile. Some people are more animated, and so it's more of a blunted. That's affecting their feelings, and they're feeling quite blah. So we need to get out there and do recreation. And that was my major for my BS was recreational therapy. So we need to teach people how to play, movement, have fun. It's not so much exercise and talking. Do more of
Okay,
that.
so now how does this affect? Because obviously the majority of the listeners on this, all the listeners on this show are entrepreneurs and business owners. How
Okay.
does that affect us?
Oh, so in Bempathy, the key is I have six key elements with the C's. Of course, number one is communication. Number two is you want to find commonality. If you don't find commonality, and that's another problem, we have all these generations in the working field, including the Gen Zs, that we need to find some connection. And what we're doing in our society, and this is what we do, it's called it's negativity bias. We focus on the negative instead of the positive because we want to survive. I want to focus on the bear in the woods instead of the Big Mac over to my left because I want to live to be able to eat my Big Mac. So this is happening. And so in Bempathy, we really work to do empathy so that you can focus more on the positive and try to relate with them. And then once you connect, then you can start working with them. You don't want to blindside people. We need to incorporate a little bit more inch by inch, more in face to face. And what we're doing is we're promoting what? Hybrid. So, I mean, we just need to promote it and we need to make it fun.
That makes a lot of sense. When you
Yeah.
talk about learning to and getting back to play, what does that
Yes.
mean? And how do you incorporate that into, a corporate culture or workplace?
So one, if you don't know, if you've never experienced it, you really don't know what you're missing. So I know when I used to work, I loved talking by the water fountain or the water cooler or the coffee. And that's what's missing. So when you're at home, you don't have that movement because if I'm looking on my phone, I am not animated. If I'm by the coffee machine or where the food is and I'm talking to somebody, I'm more animated. And so we need to let them know what they're missing. And so it needs to be introduced. And that's the first thing. We need to model it. We need to introduce it. It's real easy. You don't need to do it for more than 2 minutes and you make it fun. Don't make it where, oh, they're bickering or talking about negative things. You make it where they're talking about some fun stuff. And then they're going to associate that with fun. We're competing against gamers and we're competing against virtual reality. So there you go. Got to
That
make it
that
fun.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What inspired you to write the book?
My interactions with my clients, the first book I wrote and I just revamped it is Meeting People, It's Not a Game. And I found that when we were incorporating more digital technology in the world, people were having more problems meeting people with substance because there's a saying, if there's, well, I don't know if there's a saying, if there's too many things to pick from, you can't pick. It's just you're in the candy shop or the ice cream store and you get some vanilla ice cream and then you see someone over there and they've got cherries on top. Well, you want that. Then you see someone over there that has some chocolate. You want that. And we want more and more and more. And so we feel that if we do pick, we're settling. And if we have so many, sometimes we're just like, oh, I don't know what to do. So it's just that's what we have in there, the virtual reality. We need to step back, and that's also part of empathy. Step back, find out you are the center of your world, Seth, and find out who are you, what do you want, not what does everybody else want from you. So it's a process.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
How do we implement that? How do we add that? Let's say we've got a company culture where
Yes.
at least half our people are remote. How do we bridge that
Right.
gap?
Right. So this is one thing people were doing during COVID is they would do for dating, let's say, they would have Zoom dates. So they would be doing the same thing so that they could experience, even though it wasn't in the same place, they could experience similar what the other person was experiencing. So you can do things like that. I would also promote whether it's once a month, once every 6 months, where people get together and have a gathering. And you make that gathering very substantial and, like I keep saying, fun. You want it interesting, right? We need to be if we want things interesting, we need to be interested. So, or vice versa. It's been said before. And so that's what you need to do. So it's going to depend. That answer depends on your clientele. If you had nursing or medical people, you're going to gear it more towards the medical. If you have people in tech, you're going to want them to have some technical devices as they're working together, physically being together. So it's going to depend. You would need to give me an example and then I could tell you. Mainly, you want to find the commonality and you've got to make it fun.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Bringing fun back into the workplace to
Yes.
bring people together.
Do we know what fun is anymore? We get where it's black and white thinking now, and I say that in my books. And when you have black and white thinking, so that's why I developed these three fun characters, Beacon, Brighton, and Bo. Bo was my dog, who is dead now, and she is the compromiser. She helps tie everything together, helps people see a third side of the coin, which is one of my books. Because if I'm right, you're wrong, then we both lose. So you want to make a win-win situation. And that's really what this is all about. It's having a mindset that you want to empathize, then you want to start bantering, which is chit chat, small talk. What happened to that? I said that to somebody and you smiled. I said that to somebody. They go, small talk? Who has time for small talk? And if you look it up in research, small talk gets people to connect without even having anything in common. And then you have a focus on a win-win. If I focus, like I wanted this to be a win-win. I even said, I love your wife. And I do. She was charming. I had a great time talking, right? And right away we connected. And in my head, I couldn't wait to meet who she married. And so I wanted it to be a win-win. And that was my mindset. And we're already having fun. And it's that easy. Now there's going to be a percentage that you're not going to get along with someone because there are people we don't get along with, and that's just how it is. You got to accept it.
Very true. Tell us about the books, plural.
The books, plural. What do you mean?
As in, it sounds like you've written more than one. What are
Oh,
they?
I have. I have them all here, and this would help me remember. This is my latest one, and it's Bempathy, Simplify Communication by Looking at the Third Side of the Coin. I love this because we are being, as I said, so, I text. I don't need to wait for you to respond. Sometimes I do. You can respond. I might not even respond back. And it depends on how I'm feeling. How do you make this world able to see a third side of the coin? We've got to model it. And you can even do it on the internet. You can ask somebody, instead of it making all about me, say, hey, what do you think about this? What's your thought about how to move forward? Wow, I like that part. Maybe we could build on that part. Doesn't have to be the whole thing of what someone says. See what I'm saying? And that's the third side. This one I found my husband with. Have you ever, no one is what if you're a lawyer, you can't be a lawyer to yourself. Well, if you're a therapist, you can't be a therapist to yourself. So all my clients were meeting their person when I wrote this book. And I said, you know what? I've been single for 24 years. I said, I think I'm going to read my own book. And I'm married to my second husband. Seriously, you can ask him. He's not someone I would have married. I think he's nice looking. He's probably too nice. Anyway, and I met him because of my book. So these things really do work. You need to take things with a grain of salt. And when you read any book, Seth, you take some of it and you make it your own. And that's what you do with Bempathy. There you go.
That is beautiful. And I love that you are a walking testimonial and a product of the process. That is great. For our folks who are watching and listening and want to learn more about all things Jill and where to go, where should they go to learn more about you and get the books?
Okay, so if you go to my website, it's jillrobinpayne.com. I have a lot of information there, a lot of videos. Also, I'm on all the platforms. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at Jill Robin Payne, and you will find me. And please email me. I keep telling people, email me, ask me questions so that I can do videos, talk with you. And I am a therapist.
Yes, you are. And thank you so much for spending some of your time with us. We know it's incredibly valuable.
Well, so is yours. Thank you so much for having me, Seth.
You are very welcome. This has been Seth Green with Jill Robin Payne of Jill Robin Payne, Payne. Make sure to go check out the latest book is Bempathy. Thank you everyone for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.